Hey horror fans, welcome back to Room 237, and before I get to the review, go to my recent video, thank you 500 subs, which thank you to 500 subs. That's the new Q&A video, so leave your questions in the comments on that. I'll answer them next weekend. Go check out the Room 237 Reviews Facebook group, join that, and check out the Room 237's Patreon. Check out the tiers, see if you like to be a patron. If so, that'd be greatly appreciated. If not, thank you all the same. And with that, we will get to the review. This wasn't so much a request as it was a suggestion on Room 237's Facebook page. I'm not going to say who it was. I don't know if they want their names said on here, but someone posted about this film, which is on Netflix, Emelie, from 2015. And I commented on it. I was like, oh, it's on Netflix. It's a newer film. Is it? I know it's not Blumhouse, but is it like Blumhouse? Is it just another supernatural, paranormal, shit-ass film? That kind of film like they do or other companies? He was like, no supernatural whatsoever. He was like, it's actually quite the psychological thriller. He was like, think Orphan, which he was right. And, it's just this sort of someone who's not quite what they seem. It's uncomfortable. And he said he really enjoyed it. And I have to say, I also did. And yeah, he was right. If you take elements from, 2010's Orphan, a little bit of Shyamalan's The Visit, a little tiny bit of the French film Inside, it's sort of like When a Stranger Calls, but the reverse, I guess. Because it's about this couple. They're celebrating their 13th wedding anniversary, and they never go out. So they're finally going out. Let's see if there's should have done that first. So they hire a babysitter to watch their 3 kids. There's an 11-year-old named Jake. I want to get the ages right. 9-year-old Sally, 4-year-old Christopher. And the babysitter shows up, says her name is Anna. Well, first we see there's this girl who is kidnapped and abducted by this dark-haired girl and an older man. I know I sound like shit. And then Emelie shows up to this family's house as Anna, and she's the world's worst babysitter. It starts off slow, and it just keeps building up and building up. And I actually didn't even say who. It's directed by Michael Thalin. Story by him and Richard Raymond Harry Herbeck. That guy with the long name wrote the screenplay. This stars Sarah Bolger, who's done some stuff that I haven't seen. Joshua Rush plays the son. He was also on Heroes. Chuck Bartowski on Heroes, which my girlfriend likes that show. I'm not going to get into spoilers because I do recommend this film. It is on Netflix, so definitely check it out. But it's definitely the elements of which I mean for like Orphan, someone posing as someone else with very malicious intent, and you find out her motives as it goes on. The Visit, because it is these kids being taken care of, being put in the care of someone who's not who they say they are. And Inside, because you find out her final endgame. and any bit of hope that comes along. It's not as extreme as Inside at all. It's not really that extreme of a film. It's purely psychological. It has an 88 on Rotten Tomatoes. It's really grounded, I guess is what I want to say. I mean, you get the idea that this woman is probably in her early 20s, and you know, I mean, it's not about blood and gore. It really is just about, you know, you just get the idea that she has these sick ideas of what, I don't really know how to word it. Not so much what to do with kids, but, you know, it starts off slow, just like, you know, do whatever you want. You know, pretty much telling them to do make-believe. So the youngest, the 4-year-old, gets these expensive pillowcases, rips them all up so he can make like a dinosaur costume. Tells them to, you know, drink all the juice, eat all the cookies you want. And it gets more and more uncomfortable as it goes on. You know, for example, I was impressed because this kid, uh, Josh Rush, who played Joshua Rush, who played the 11-year-old. When the movie starts out, you think he's gonna be sort of like just a punk ass kid, but he actually ends up being pretty smart, quite a smart, resourceful, caring older brother. And I don't really know where to draw the line for spoilers, but basically, so you have this young babysitter, these 3 kids aged 4 to 11. And just imagine all these just gradually more and more sinister things for a babysitter to do. And it's not about torture or anything like that. It's just psychologically damaging, I guess. I guess the one thing I will spoil, just so you kind of know what you're getting yourself into. Because there's like 2 major things that she does as the babysitter before everything comes to a head. Where I was just like, wow, alright. And again, it's not that I found it shocking or disturbing. It's just, I haven't seen it in this context. A babysitter doing it with these kids. The son has a python, in which I will say, I used to have a python. Of course, his name was Monty. With the size of that python, he doesn't have to microwave dead mice. You know, big, full-size mice. He could have fed it to him live. But the story takes care of that. Because she's like, you know, they're natural hunters. And that they should be able to eat live. And she picks up the 9-year-old girl's hamster ball. And of course, she doesn't want it to happen. The ball rolls around. The 4-year-old was annoying. I know he's a 4-year-old, but he was fucking annoying. I have to say that. He just walks over, dumps the hamster in the thing, and the babysitter is like holding the girl like around the chest and like holding her face so she has to watch. And the python gets the hamster. But it's this long scene, this long build up. And like before that, she wants to take a picture of all of them. And, well, I'll say that for spoilers, but she tells the daughter to not smile. But she still does, and she's like, stop smiling. That's one of the first signs that she's not okay. And it builds on from there. It is a really good psychological horror film. Thriller. I guess this one could go either way. It actually, well, what does Wikipedia say? Because I always go by what it says. American horror thriller. There you go. It's both. Fuck off. For people who think opinions matter as far as genre. You know, it is well written. It doesn't play with convenience or anything like that. It the dialogue seems very realistic. Uh, the score is very minimal, which I liked. It leads up to the son having to protect his two siblings against this psycho. Again, it's on Netflix. I do recommend it, but now I'm getting into spoilers. There was some foreshadowing, you know, like when she has Jake count down from 100 for hide and seek. And she's just looking around through all the parents' shit. And she opens the door to the closet and she's looking through everything. But the way the camera is, our eyes are drawn to this box, this lock box. Which she opens it, but we don't see what's in it. We get it's a gun. It is. And then there's this, is she even, during hide and seek, he finds her in the bathroom. I mean, he wasn't peeking in on her. He just happened to look, see she was in there using it. And she had him go in there and get her a tampon and open it for her. It's even hinted that she put it in front of him. Because he has walkie-talkies to his friend who lives nearby. They hang out in the backyard treehouse. And it was kind of funny. He's like, Howie, I think I just saw my first vagina hole. I thought that was funny. And then the other scene, this is right after she feeds the girl's hamster to the python. She pops a VHS tape in for movie time. And it's a parent sex tape. She's showing the kids the parent sex tape. I was just like, wow. And that's when the son kind of starts to smarten up. Which also, they were watching the sex tape. He was looking through her bag. He found her license. Saw her name was Emelie, not Anna. There was bullets in it. They later find out that the gun was laid out for them. But then we find out her motive, and this is where Inside comes in. She once had a baby, and while it was still like an infant, she fell asleep with it on the couch. She moved around in her sleep, pinned the baby up against the back of the couch, and it suffocated. And her mind snapped. And she's telling it in the form of like a fairy tale to the 4-year-old. Like she calls the baby her cubby. And she's been looking all over for a new cubby. But it can't be any cubby. It has to be her cubby. And we see her text to the guy that helped her abduct Anna, the real Anna in the beginning. It's like, I found my cubby. Because he's watching the parents on their date. And, you know, at one point, a regular sitter shows up because Anna was supposed to fill in for her. And, you know, of course, Emelie, this is when she's like, I don't want to hear anything about what we've done tonight. We're friends. Don't misbehave. Like, she slaps Jake. Is like, that's what happens when you don't misbehave. We really see her facade slip. And I have to say, this character, Sarah Bolger played her well. She played an unhinged, young, psycho bitch very well. I put her character up there with the two girls on Eli Roth's Knock Knock. Very different characters. Wanted to just see them get it, but for different reasons. She wasn't annoying, but you know, she had that like look, because this is how smart the son is. when they sent before they send the sitter away, because she got mixed up in her text. She was like, "So am I supposed to come here? I don't recognize you." He writes a note, and he has Sally run up and give her a hug before she leaves, and she stuffs it in her purse. And when she gets to the car, it says, "She's evil, help," or "help us." And then right in the car, Emelie gets in the car with her and just smashes her head a bunch of times against the steering wheel. She just has that sort of the same look on her face that Alice had on Alice Sweet Alice. Just that, you just want to see her fucking get it. And that she drugs the kids so that they pass out because she wants Christopher. Jake, of course, pukes it up so that he can devise a plan. And more like inside, because what I said, it's like all signs of hope are abandoned, because she drags the real sitter inside, but she wakes up, then they fight, but of course she kills her. Gets a good, but Emelie does get a good chunk bitten out of her arm. There was some I meant to finish my thought on foreshadowing, other than the box with the gun. Before the parents leave, the dad says, "Do not let them play in the garage." And she's like, "Why? What's in the garage?" And he's like, a 73 Corvette Stingray. Rebuilt it myself." And he keeps talking about it. So it's like, okay, something's going to happen to the Corvette, or it's going to come into play later. And even during hide and seek, when Emelie's walking around, she's kind of running her finger along the Corvette, looking at stuff. Jake does manage to get Christopher out of the house, because it's alluded to that she harmed his friend in the treehouse. They're supposed to meet with a bunch of fireworks. He's able to get Christopher out of the house. He hides him in the trash bin. And she's like, "Backyard, I'll trade you Sally for Christopher." He wheels the trash can out, and when she opens it, she gets a bunch of fireworks in the face. And I was like, fuck yeah. And I'm sure people will sympathize with her. Sort of go the whole Bird Box route, like, oh my god, seriously? Can't even when I watch that, like, because I'm 2 weeks pregnant, so I know what a mother's love, like, could not even. No, this is not a mother's love. She's kidnapping to have a surrogate child because she fucked up. She is a psycho bitch, and I wanted to see her get it so bad. So then, of course, he puts the kids in the Corvette. Meanwhile, the parents get in the cab because they're drunk for their date. The guy that was with her, drives into him, but of course, he fucks up. He hits something else, gets killed. Cop's gonna take them home. And then that's when they look in the trunk, they find the body of the real Anna. So then the other officer hears it on the radio. It's like, her name is Anna whatever. That's when the parents are like, okay, something's wrong. Also, no one was answering the phone. I was a little disappointed with the ending because I felt she went down a little too easy, because he gets the kids to the Corvette. She's standing there with the pistol. And he just throws it in reverse and runs her over. And then starts running down the road and meets up with the cops, and they're reunited. And then she's gone. And then it hits that his friend from the treehouse is fine. And then the last shot is her all weakened, stumbling. It is just like, fuck, I just wanted to see her. It's not that I wanted to see her die or get killed. Maybe this is the Batman in me. I wanted to see her get arrested. I wanted to see, you know, just that look of deprivation. And she's not only not going to get the child that she wants, she's never going to get any child. And just, you know, the fact that she failed, she's never going to get what she wants. Or someone beat the shit out of her and really overpowered. Only because I hated this character. She was played well, she was well written, and it was one of those cases where, you know, really good villains want to see you want to see something bad happen to them, but you still, like, I still liked her as a villain. I thought the actress did a great job. She was well written. And the story worked so well that it's just, I wanted to see her get it. That's my only gripe with this film. I thought it was a good build-up of, you know, starts off sweet, and then, or that gets a little off, a little strange, and then it's just this build-up of more and more fucked up things for a babysitter to do. And whoever it was, because I'm not saying your name again, that suggested this on the Facebook page, thank you for suggesting it. You were right. It is a very good. It is a very good psychological horror thriller. I myself haven't really seen too many, not that I can think of, like, evil babysitter films. At least not to this extent, or not played out this way. Hey guys, I know I was breathing through my nose fine while I was watching it. And I mean, the score was very minimalist. It's not that it was strong in atmosphere, because I mean, most of the film does take place in the house, but there was this sense of dread, especially when Jake was walking through the house towards the end to get his siblings out, and he doesn't know where she is. There was a constant feeling of dread. The scene with the hamster was good build-up, and you felt bad for the hamster. I used to have a python. I used to feed him live mice all the time. And just the fact that you're making a child watch her pet get eaten. And then just the, not so much thinking about what the kids are going through, but just trying to put yourself in the mind of someone who thinks it's a fun idea to show these kids their parents' private sex tape. She was planning on killing the other two kids, because she does go into Jake's room with the pillow to smother him after he's been drugged. But of course he's not there. You don't really understand why she's being so mean and horrific towards these kids. I'm guessing, is to find the one with the most unconditional love, the one that's, you know, to see if young Christopher will still be playful, look up to her, love her, I guess. But she's a fucking psycho. She can find that in anything. But I really did enjoy this film. It definitely one of the better Netflix films I've seen in a while, along with The Ritual. I'll even put Cam up there, because I was impressed by Cam. But definitely one of the better, especially of Netflix originals. Like that surprised me as well. I mean, is there anything about the production or anything that I could say, or reception? No. But anyway, so yeah, it was distributed by Dark Sky Films. Not quite sure what else is under Dark Sky. I know they're better than After Dark and shit like that. Already better than Blumhouse. But anyway, this has gone on quite a bit. So, to the person on the Facebook group, thank you for the suggestion. I really enjoyed it. And thank you for watching.